very unfortunate, first of all, that the word Madoadoa might have come from Uasin Gishu, because Uasin Gishu, according to us, was the epicenter of this violence. And now, it seems, once again, the genesis of the same thing is coming out of Uasin Gishu. This is very unfortunate for us. Let me go to my experience. Trevor, Madoadoa and the other words that have been used were used in Uasin Gishu much earlier, before even 2007. 2007 is where the whole thing opened up and it turned into violence like we experienced. Let me say, we went through a very difficult period because immediately the results were announced. We were promised protection a day before because we had a meeting with the provincial administration over some few houses that had been touched on the 29th. So we had a meeting and we were promised that there was going to be protection. But then on the evening of the 31st, the protection that was promised to us never came by. We were attacked from all sides. And by around midnight, there was no house that was standing. And if there was one, it was burnt the next day. Now, what happened to us? We left our homes to the DO's office or to the provincial administration office with completely nothing. Not even address, not even nothing, because the homes were burnt, the stores were burnt. We left our animals behind because we couldn't carry them to that office. And so we ended there with completely nothing, not even a blanket. You can see how this traumatizing this was. Mzee like Mchina is there with his wife, with his entire family. There is no food, there is no water, there is nothing to cover ourselves, and we remained there for 15 days. Let me tell you, the experience was horrific. I've already mentioned that there was no water, but there was a borehole there that the Askaris were using to wash their cars. That's the water we used. For the 15 days that we were there, because we could not be allowed to step outside compound, the DO's compound, to fetch water from the neighboring people there, because they did not welcome us. So we stayed there without food, only praying and crying to God to come to us, to come and save us. Anybody who wanted even to go out of that place could not make it. There was no means of transport. We could not access any vehicles. The shopping center surrounding the DO's office was a very small one. Whatever that was there in the shops was used, and it got finished within the first 3 days. So you couldn't shop, you couldn't buy anything from the shops because there was nothing. And there was no supply from anywhere because no vehicles were moving to bring the things that we could probably require. It was terribly, Trevor. It was terrible.
Mushina,
but then...
Yeah. Go ahead, Mushina.
Yes.
Have you ever been able to go back to your piece of land, and what is there right now? Now,
before I come to that place, because I wanted to give you the experience as a whole,
yes,
I was able to come back to my piece of land. I am back at home now.
Okay.
I'm sitting in my house, that house that the government built for me.
Yeah.
But I wanted to give you the experience now. After that time, we were able to be evicted, and we were taken to the Eldoret showground.
Yeah.
The Eldoret showground, that's where we met real suffering, because it took the civil society and all the well-wishers a whole 2 weeks to organize themselves to start feeding us. During that time, it was just survival for the fittest. Whatever you could get to eat, you eat, and when there's nothing, you just stay like that and watch, waiting for nothing, hoping for nothing, but just there waiting to die or whatever that would have happened. It was terrible. However, we managed to stay on, and then the government and the well-wishers and all those other people that were involved came on board, and they started giving us food and everything that we required. Yeah. But then don't forget, Trevor, we were sleeping outside. We had nothing to cover ourselves on. we slept in the shades in the showground until the Red Cross was able to come on board with the tents, and then we had somewhere to put our heads under.
Yeah.
That took us a whole 5 months under that tent. The experience there was that although there was food to eat, there was nothing else. Yeah. Let me tell you, I experienced a lot of family disintegration when we were in that camp. Our children were devastated. There was no school. There was nothing they were looking upon except sitting there and waiting for nothing. Looking upon a parent who is helpless, who has nothing to offer, who has no food. It was terrible. So when this thing is mentioned to us, it reminds those very bad times that we went through.
Yeah.
Let us now live there. We now come back to our farms during the Operation Rudi Nyumbani.
Yeah.
That was another terrible time now. Because we came back to our neighbors, but we stayed in a camp somewhere, and they were all of us spread in our farms. We were not farming. We were not growing anything. We were just seated there waiting for peace and reconciliation, peace talks and all that. The experience we went through is that nobody would like to go through it again. The effects that were there due to this post-election violence, Trevor, were terribly bad. First, for our children. They missed school for almost 1 year.
Okay.
That was never completed. Come to the family as a unit. I want to tell you that very many people lost their families there. Some families just broke up because now who is who where? You can't say your husband who has nothing, who can offer anything. This was the genesis of many families breaking down.
Okay.
Now, even when we came back now, as you asked me, I'm at home now. The government just gave us this small house and a water tank. I am a farmer. Yeah. I have 5 acres of land here. The government gave us one 10 kg bag of maize seed and one 50 kg bag of fertilizer. That is what is called lasting solution by the government to the IDPs that went through this experience. Trevor, tell me, how do I recover? I have children in school. Others are in colleges. In fact, I'm telling you as I sit here, yeah. My daughter who was in Moi University was sent home, and she had just to go home. Where do I get the money? Okay. And even up to now, so we have not been able to recover economically even as we sit here. All right, David. Because after what was given to us, yeah. Nothing else came on board. Okay. Nobody followed us up to find out whether. Now that we have taken them back home, we have given them small houses, we have given them farm inputs for 1 acre. Yeah. How are these people going on? Okay. Nobody came back to check on that. All right. We have engaged the government as the National IDP Network all over this time. Okay. And I'm telling you, like my sister has said there, the government did not take care of us the way they were supposed to. Okay. All right. How did they deal with the education part of our children? Because now we had no done. Okay. Have we ever been compensated for anything? Let me tell you, Trevor, even as I sit here, when Madoadoa is being mentioned, I feel as if there is something hot flowing through my body. All because I lost completely everything, and I had to come and start from zero. Okay. And as I sit here now, I cannot cheat you that I have been able to do anything because I cannot even move out of this small house that the government built for me. Why? Because the background of my children was affected. Okay. I was affected economically. I was affected as a family. Not to mention that psychologically, Trevor, we were thoroughly affected. And the only attention we were given, small meetings that were held here and there, to tell the people that it is peaceful and now you can go back and stay. Okay. Let me say it is very unfortunate that this is coming out of Uasin Gishu as of now, because the level of interaction and cohesion we are enjoying right now, by that statement, whichever way it is said, or in whichever manner it is explained,